Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of nftwins. It's 31st of December, so you know what time it is. Time to finish off some lists or trying to figure out which things I actually did not do in the entire year. Or maybe see what actually worked out.
What a wasted opportunity to say hammer time. You know what time it is? It's hammer time, baby.
I would say rather it's tick time to see whether which goals you actually achieved and which not. All right, Mark, you want to take a review of 2025? How want to split it up?
Well, it's been a hell of a year for us, man. We started off completely broke, ended up not completely broke. Had a couple of different businesses, sold a business, couple of highlights here. It's been hell of a ride. So I think we should go over it with the last year's, what were the goals, what were the situation like, and where we ended up and what's the future.
I mean, first of all, we started 2025 with definitely, man, we were living on borrowed time, not being able to pay the next month's rent, which actually turned out till almost May, even though we went to 2 weddings, which was insane without any money. Like traveling without money is not fun. Colombia, etc. If you don't have money, hell no, especially if you live in ghetto. I mean, nothing against Colombia. I still have to see it with money and traveling. But 3 weeks of Cartagena can be a little bit much, but the weddings were a blast. And I'm so happy we did all of this. I mean, think about it. There's no income. Our companies didn't make any money. We still decided to go for the travels by renting out our apartment. And yeah, then in May, we got a notification or a message because we listed one of our AI girlfriend boyfriend website on a website for selling. Then we got a message from a broker. Basically, what he did was like, okay, guys, might have a seller. And we're like, you told us at the beginning when we signed the contract with you in December.
We signed in December, and we're like, look, this is the price we want to sell it at. Is that sounds good? And then he had multiple times already offered, hey, yeah, I got someone. Don't worry, just sign now. And nothing happened.
Of course, I mean, he was like, I have one, but sign first. And it's like, of course, you have at least 6 months of, what is it called? You cannot go to
other. Non-competes.
Yeah, you can't go to sell on any other websites, etc. And then we didn't take it serious, but basically on the week before we went to our 3rd wedding, which was in Bahamas, so of our friend Nikos, we get a message and we're like, okay. Like he reached out to me on my personal email, even though I just gave him that
one.
I still can't believe how the hell did he get it? It's like, hey guys, can you please respond? Sorry, I didn't read the email. Turns out they found somebody who wanted to sell the company or buy the company from us. And in the end, it turned out to be the biggest VR porn website in the world that actually acquired us.
It's a conglomerate. They have multiple websites.
Yeah, I think 12, 13, something like this. That's a huge ass empire. Super interesting, all run by Russians or Russian speaking. So basically, if you're part of the company, you can only speak Russian, basically, which is super, super interesting to know also.
I feel like cool. In the adult industry, there's a lot of Russian speaking people working
Eastern European, yeah.
Well, Russian speaking, right? Yeah. Those Slavic languages predominantly in there. Super, super interesting.
That was, in general, the entire conversation. First of all, guys, if you have a broker,
never trust a broker.
Oh, man. We had such
it's like the game of telephone, guys. The classic game of telephone.
Horrible.
You say something, he says something to the seller, and things get lost in translation.
100%. And we had that issue. Almost the deal fell through. Like in every good deal, there's always at least ones where you're like, okay, no, we don't want to buy it, and then yes, we want to buy it, but we want to hire you as well. And then you also have to make sure, always run if you don't have a lawyer, run the agreement through ChatGPT. That's what we did. Because, for example, for us, the broker wanted to rip us off, and basically, because we were supposed to be hired for an entire year afterwards as well. And he took these contracts in to increase his share because he was supposed to get 10% of the company deal value. But it was never talking about the contracts, which were basically paid out in a year. So basically, we would not have left with a lot of money there. So yeah, I had to speak I used ChatGPT and said, hey, talk like Chris Voss, so the best hostage negotiator. And it's like, hey, and then you can literally ChatGPT say, hey, he's trying to rip you off.
It's really, really interesting. So Lucas had to negotiate the whole thing. I remember we're at the airport, oh my God, look, he answered. Should we respond right away? Okay, what do you say? And he's like, oh, okay, they want us now. Do we want to work for them? No. How much should we want? All right, we throw out a number look, at this number, we'll take it. And yeah, that sounds good. But the fuck?
Yeah, but then in the end, we still were still okay, yeah, but this was
no, of course,
contractor versus employee.
Yeah,
we thought it's a bit more. But yeah, in the end, we settled for going for it, because in the end, I was like, okay. I mean, we sold the company for like 45K. So the
USD.
website, yeah. So it's not much at all. So basically, we wanted to get rid of it anyways, but it was good enough for us to at least have runway for a few months. And then when they decided to acquire us and also like hire us, we're like, okay, fuck yeah. I mean, we'll take it, because in the end, we didn't have a real idea yet what's going to be our next business. So that's why we decided, like, okay, let's go with them and actually work for them. And yeah, that's basically for those people who love anime. It's the time skip, right? For example, One Piece, the time skip, or
The training arc. It's a classic training arc.
Exactly.
We used it to improve our skills, know exactly, line ourselves up what we want to do.
I mean,
but end of
what
the
is
day,
it? Rocky cutscene, 30 seconds. Real life can be years. So for us, it's like another 6 months.
well, another thing is we wanted to sell Mamacita, Papacito, or well, AI girlfriend, boyfriend websites, because we didn't like the adult industry. That's also one of our key learnings from this year, at least for
also,
me, and now for Lucas as well.
Also from the year before, because we started in 2024, right?
Yeah, no, I know, but we stopped working on it then,
Yeah.
and then we're like, look, we don't want to be in there. It was just it's happened to be because we're working on a different project, and then they wanted to sell. They wanted to buy Mamacita, Papacito, so we're like, okay, fuck it, we're doing it. But we don't want to work in the adult industry. It's kind of honestly, the people we work with were nice. Other experiences, the clients are like, the users are shit usually, in terms of not the users are shit, but they write some nasty stuff.
If you just think about it, you're seeing titties all day, dicks all day. I mean, it's definitely not pleasing. I was doing the
You're not making the world a better
video
place.
exactly.
It's not nice. It's not cool.
I mean, it's one thing of like making the world a better place or not, but also at the same time, it's like you have to think about your own, like, not mental health, but like, man, if you're seeing this, it's just like it's numbing you, because like you're seeing it all the time. So I think that's one of the things which I also did not like at all, especially when I was in charge of like developing, or let's put it this way, finding good models or merge them in case, for example, because if you need to generate like gay content, etc. So I've done a lot in that industry or in that part. Yeah, it's
yeah. Also, Lucas' a side parents, hustle there. He's worked in that industry.
What else?
Wild. What else are you hiding there?
So yeah, that's a wild. I mean, you see a wild stuff. Sometimes it's funny the results that come out, but sometimes just disturbing. But my point is also, that's why one of the reasons why we wanted to leave.
That was the main reason.
Oh, it was 100% the main reason. Also, like, man, trying to get distribution is a nightmare. If you are like,
okay, what are usual constraints? Look, usually, let's talk about usual constraints. Usually, you need to find a distribution channel. Same thing. Then you have the constraints, and either your target audience is not on the distribution that you want, or you have the inability to acquire them at the cost that is valuable to you, so that you have something, you can run something profitable. And usually, that's it.
And then you also have to consider, like, for
these some industries have restrictions, and now come the adult industry, Lucas, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, for example, in the adult industry, first of all, there are a lot of strategies which are really just black hat, so just like basically illegal, not even gray. Like, I mean, we talk, for example, with the and what is it called, an affiliate network, because we was like, okay, we want to get be part of an affiliate network, because in the end we thought about that. They're good, like there are better ways to distribute, because you don't have to like find directly run ads, because we tried running ads, and it's not like running on Facebook. Well, you can't run on Facebook, because first of all, man, on Google, even though I had just a campaign which I never launched, just it was an image. It
was a draft.
It was a draft and a portrait of a normal girl. There's nothing.
A woman,
nothing.
Also not a girl.
Yeah, a woman. And it just says like not to work AI chat, and it even never launched, and we got banned for this, and like our basically can't run Google Ads anymore.
You can't.
Yeah. So it's like these are things that, or like through this, our YouTube channel. Well, our YouTube channel got banned. Then this also impacted our podcast. So these are things that are just like very, very frustrating. Especially, you always have to consider like other ways. And now coming back to the affiliate network, so actually the story I wanted to tell was, we were talking to them and it's like, hey, how about AI girlfriends? And they're like, well, we're looking into AI and trying to make it work, but actually the website that makes the most money are these websites. I'm not sure whether you're from the generation, but when you went on streaming websites and then a pop-up came up and it's just like, oh, these MILFs are in your neighborhood. It's always the same wherever you move. And these websites tend to target older people, 50 plus. Yeah, they're like literally have chatbots, like, and they're pretending they're real, they're these people, which is, I mean, only doing my OnlyFans, but it was like, it's very, very shady. And they're using, of course, shitty quality images so they look like real people. And this is like stuff like this that just really makes me like, oh, this is so shady. I don't
You know
wanna work
what,
there.
Lucas? I think we should talk about what we learned from that kind of experience in different episode. I want to get these details. I was like, you think about it. What did we learn in the adult industry?
All right.
Catchy hook. What do you guys think?
It might be good one for another episode.
Misleading.
But I just want to talk about it because it's one of the key learnings that also like happened this year. That's like super interesting.
Let's keep it to the key learnings. Keep it high level. So
all right, go ahead.
In detail to this one. All right. So Lucas already said. So we got rid of it. We did the time skip. We learned lots.
Wait. We're still missing, bro. Be incredible.
Yeah, I know. But we're talking about the Mamacita journey. So we were finally able to close that chapter also in December now. We'll get into detail in our podcast. What we started the year off with, though, going back in time, we had Be Incredible, which was an AI app for mental health. Basically, a completely different world. I know. We skip from one end to the other one. Basically, a mental health coach, an AI coach that would help you with challenges, help you with
AI therapist, basically.
Yeah, therapist. Also with affirmations, etc.,
daily routines, etc.
Exactly.
Because we wanted to combine.
I built it for a couple of months, but we weren't able to scale it or run ads because, first of all, didn't have money. Second of all, I finished the app, but it's a very competitive market, and for something that is not as someone that people like to admit to, first of all, I think at the beginning, and then there's so many. Everybody wants to do that. It's very crazy competitive. And it's not something that's just like, hey.
Also, we didn't burn. First of all, we didn't burn for it. Second 100%. Of all, when we finished it and we wanted to like really go for it, we basically sold Mamacita Papacito. So that's like a huge difference. So we got now the opportunity to work for them, make some money, save our war chest because we know we're going to have a new project. We want to have a new project, and that new project we want to have something that we really burn for. And yeah, it's also why we later now. Let's skip to October. When we decided or found, we want to work, want to have a new idea. And one of the things that we always were struggling in our previous projects was always distribution. So distribution is king because nowadays, like, man, with AI, everybody can build a product. It's more that like distribution becomes so important.
You don't have to be coded. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, we're building now everything with Lovable because it's so much faster. It's like so fast. You're thinking
we could also do it actually with something else, with like a cursor or something. But
yes, but in the end, it's like
Lovable is convenient.
Lovable is so much more expensive. I mean, we're spending right now $600, $580 a month,
something like that, a little bit less.
So yeah, these are my point is that distribution is king. So we wanted to build something that helps, first of all, that we can use for ourselves, as well as something that is you can promote, you can create content for yourself, like for promoting a product, and then how we ended up with our latest journey.
This is the thing. Why do we want to do it? We want to do that because we found out we were struggling at some point. We hit a limit in the distribution on AI girlfriend boyfriend website, right? Because running ads has a lot of restrictions. You can't do the traditional channels that we used to, Meta, Google, whatnot. And second of all, the other channels are very sketchy, and that's something, if you don't have a lot of budget, you can't test out what works. And so we want to have something that has great content that we can easily generate, also something that we find interesting at, not just technologically otherwise, but also in terms of, hey, this is a fucking cool thing to build, and something that you can say like, look, this is very useful. This is something that can easily be memeable or content-wise. And so that's how we came up with Hook Talk.
Yeah, that's why in beginning of December, we went like full-time on it, or we started really building it. Because in the end, it's so Hook Talk is basically you can create out of an image, product video, etc. But when we did our first iteration and tried to run ads, we got signups, but we never got somebody to pay for it. Then we realized, okay, there's so many competitors out there, but what about we going super niche? So we decided to go into the beauty niche because we have a lot of friends that have.
Last week we decided that.
Exactly. It's recent, right? So it's like review of the year. So we're now almost at the end of the year. we decided to go into the niche, so beauty niche, because we have friends who have like beauty aesthetics, like to do wood massage,
So
nails.
perfect first customers. What Lucas is
Exactly.
trying
And
to
the
say.
biggest problem is there. So basically, most of the clients come through social media. The thing is, you have to run social media well to get clients. And another point is what most of them do, or some of them do, they pay a guy $300 per month to run their ads, not even their social media, not even Instagram, just to run ads and not even creating content, right? So then we decided, okay, we can do, and no promises, right? They're not saying, hey, I'm at least giving your clients for $50 for every dollar you spend in there. So these are a lot of non-promises. We're like, okay, we can do that much better for cheaper and all automated with AI. So our idea is, so that's what we're building right now. It's content creation. So first of all, if you have B-roll, especially in the beauty industry, you have a lot of B-roll. So maybe before and after pictures of nails, eyelashes, eyebrows, whatever you can imagine, maybe even tattoos. That way, but you shine from the camera. You can have just a talking avatar. So basically, you see that in the bottom corner, those people talking. So these are the kind of type of videos, as well as infographics. Because one of the things that we, at least in the current situation, believe is most really important for people to actually come and decide to go to your place is first of all, like the before and after, and also that you are very knowledgeable. Knowledgeable can be done by infographics or something that is more shareable. For example, memes in the industry, right? Because the thing is, the biggest thing that I've seen while looking at hundreds of profiles is that these before and after pictures, they tend to not create as many likes, like 5, 6, 7 likes, even though the account has few thousand followers. They're always the same. So like it's not very shareable. It looks great to look at it, but it's not very shareable. So like that's why you also need to have a mix, and that's where AI can help be very helpful by creating these different content pieces that we can then automate, so the user will not have to do anything. So they just have to focus on giving massages, do the eyelashes, eyebrows, just have to approve the content, and that's basically it. So that's the current state of Hook Talk, or our focus. And I think Mark is playing with Satchmo in the background a little bit.
Such was sitting with his nose the entire time. He wants attention. I don't know if you can see him in the background there.
Yeah, you can see the snout coming in there.
Look, end of the day, Hook Talk is currently we going super niche, hyper niche, I would say, because not only beauty, because we might just focusing even within beauty into a specific niche there, and we are enabling them to have a one-stop shop to create basically the entire marketing funnel, right? Automate everything with AI for them. Nice. So that's the idea with Hook Talk for right now. We'll see how it works out. We already some of the distribution channel. Lucas already wrote some things down for the future in terms of we want to distribute mostly through teachers,
educators,
same shit, and just influencer, I think. And then we're gonna run ads and try everything else. Obviously, the classic ones and SEO. Also, guys, this is something that one of the key learns as well. It becomes more and more important, I believe, to be in a super high, like super niche, not only because it's easier to build products, but also because distribution is going to be harder and harder, and competition is going to be stronger. Also, because specifically people are not going to search more on Google, but in ChatGPT. So because of that, if you can be in the top 3 of a specific niche, because people usually type in, I don't know, nails, marketing, whatever. And if you're the first tool in there, AI tool that they recommend, ChatGPT, you will have a massive distribution. And we're talking about here, I don't know how many searches there are probably in your niche, but if you're just a AI marketing tool, you're not going to come up because it's not specific enough.
That's what we talk about AEO, so answer engine optimization. So that's one of the parts that's really, really important. But at the same time, I mean, look, most people, when they go look for nails, etc., go on Instagram, TikTok, looking there directly. Because
the question is, do you think that Meta is going to do that as well?
What? The AEO? I mean, there is basically, you have these, like the algorithm is already based on your hashtags or based on, that's why right now when you upload.
Yeah, but I'm saying Instagram, look, a nail salon is not probably going to do that. Look on Instagram for that solution. How to do marketing.
I mean, that's the thing. Most people, they are so overwhelmed, which I totally understand. Because when you're employee, you just focus on getting the best at making nails, right? Making nails, eyelashes, whatever. That's just your focus. And when you think, I'm going to be self-employed, this is going to be basically what you do all day. But there's so many other facets to it. May it be, yes, running your social media, which is then giving you new clients, etc. But it is also like, well, taxes, etc. But the thing is, like, it's such a big tail that is attached to it. So that's like, I think why it's really, really important that when we can automate certain things, makes a huge difference.
I think this brings me also to my next key learning is just that there's going to be more competition in products, but a lot of more businesses are going to fail because a lot of people think just because they're building a product, and back in the day, that used to be it. If you have a great product, you're going to be a great company as well because there's so little supply, so much demand. Nowadays, it's the other way around. Well, I say the demand is the same, but supply is a lot more. So I think there's going to be more competition, which also means that users will have to sift through more and more options till they actually have something that they like or is going to stay with them.
I want to challenge this a little
Is
bit.
that anything that's going to increase? Do you think that's going to increase or decrease retention?
That there's more competition.
Yeah,
I think people
because
want
there's going to be shit products as well.
Yeah, they're always going to be shitty products, but in the end, it's all about people. People bond with people, so I think that's why it's really important to have
Brands.
yeah, brands. Exactly. So something, and brands are basically giving human values to a company, right? That's why in the end, that's a brand. So maybe Nike, just do it and stuff like this. So it's very sporty. Or Apple, think different. Like all these things, as I think very related, and also that's why we had in one of our last episodes is like, yes, there will be more and more founders, but that's also a problem because everybody can be one, right? So that's the thing. Who's
Then
going to be a
everyone
second time
should be
founder?
one.
Exactly. Who's going to be a second time founder? So that's the thing because people learn how hard it actually is because it's much more than just doing one thing good. It's being at the beginning, doing many things good. You don't have to be great at everything, but at least good at a lot of things.
Another key learning for me was that I learned that no code is a cool tool, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, because I started with it almost 3 years ago. I guess in March. No, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years ago in March. It's great for MVPs, but it's still too slow nowadays. It's too slow. You're only gonna get so far. If you get super complicated, you need to understand. You need to do a lot of custom stuff, and the AI within these no-code tools is too expensive. So it's super hard for them to compete with something like a Cursor, Lovable in terms of pricing. But I think in the future, if they're going to be cheaper, it's an opportunity. But for now, I think vibe coding wins that one. That was one learning for me this year. And well, on the business side, obviously, this is on a personal note, Lucas, because I have a lot of business. I think I want to take some of the personal ones that I learned, just throwing them out there. No, we don't have to discuss them. Look, for me, I noticed that life is all about connecting with people and learning cool shit. At least for me, it is. And that is what truly makes me happy and gives me joy. I think that's also why next year I want to focus, or we're going to focus more on podcasts with guests. We want to have a lot more guests on for you guys, but only that we're interested in, people that we're interested in, or topics that we are super interested in, because man, we love this shit. It's fucking so cool.
Founders. It could be psychology, because like that's something that we like. Could be anything, right? Anything that we relate or like we really like, or people that we like just talking to. It could be a life coach, whatever. Like for us, it's like very, very interesting to see. And for us, I think once we learn something in conversation, I'm sure you guys will too. So I think that's very, very important. And I agree. We also have Mark and I have a bet. So basically, not a bet, but basically each of one has to bring a certain amount of guests. So that way, the one can't complain about the other, and at least we get more guests. Because like this year, we only had 3 guests. We were just focusing. I mean, we're on the one side, we were just
survival, my man.
Survival, exactly. It was all about, but while still keeping on the craft, like working on the craft itself, because
podcasting being the craft.
Exactly. I mean,
we've already upgraded. Look, we set out last year. The podcast goal was to have better content in terms of enjoying it more. And that's and it was written down how we're going to achieve this. We sit in the same room, use the phone camera, and we achieve these things. It makes such a
No
huge
microphones.
difference. You're not isolated in your room. You're like,
Yeah.
It's just like, it's different. The vibe
That's
is
actually
different.
why, by the way, if we have the, I think we have the Shure, not the SMB, but I'm not sure which Shure it is. Like, look it up. But the thing is that basically you can connect two on one laptop, and then with the software, because otherwise you have echoing. Because the biggest problem we had with in-person podcasts was that all the time you have these echoes, and they are horrible to edit out. Because then if you make the volume too low, you're cutting out certain, like, somebody talking, or it sounds completely like a robot. But they're like doing it super well with their software, so I can definitely recommend it. In person podcasts, you can connect it with one laptop, and man, fucking fantastic.
Another thing that I wrote down for me, a very personal one, is just, look, I don't need money for myself, but I love money in the sense of that I can share cool experience with my loved ones. Because that's for me, and one of the key learnings, I was like, look, we made decent amount of money when we worked for the other company, and like good money. But honestly, I don't need the money. Like, the money didn't make change for me. Just
Oh,
like,
man, I don't know. 100% made a change.
but no, okay,
you don't have to worry going to the supermarket.
Okay,
Can you pay this?
that's sense.
You can go to a
All right.
restaurant. You can invite your friends for the food, because you're like, yes.
No, but this is, again, wait. For me, it didn't make much of a difference in the sense of, look,
I'm still happy. I was happy the same way
I
before.
was super, exactly the same way. Happiness. You're right that, hey, you don't have to fucking worry. You at least at the fucking cashier. You're like, I can't. Why can't I pay? Hey, yo, bro, can you transfer me some money? And then Lucas had to transfer me some money. It happened multiple times, so that's great. But on the other hand, she's like, look, it's cool that we can invite now friends. But that's what I'm talking about. It's not for me that I need that money. It's just for me that I love to have a cool experience and share with friends. Invite them for food. I think eating with friends is one of the things that I truly enjoy. That gives me joy, and just
having
shooting
time
the shit
for
and eating food.
exactly. Also,
delicious
time
food.
for deeper
Chicken wings.
conversations, right, with your friends in general. When you're just eating, like maybe pizza night, right? I think that's one of the things we actually started pizza night, because it was the cheap way to have basically a restaurant experience in our home, with just a lot of friends. I never really thought about it, but in the end, it's like a cool way to have all your friends next to you, close to you, and then make the pizza the experience. We have a pizza oven, by the way, so if you're wondering. So we have up to sometimes, I don't know, 18 people in our place.
Horrible pizza yolos, I'm telling you. We can't do the tricks. We just roll it out.
Good. And some of them are not even round.
No. Lucas's are not round.
Because I like them thin, ladies and gents. They need to be thin. I'd rather focus on thin than round. All right. But coming back to personal learnings, I think that's
I like my pizza. I like my lady with curves. Thick.
So for me as well, for personal learnings, for 100% is like that. What really makes me happy is, as well as Mark says, like spending time with family and friends. Friends are basically from your family. That's like really, really important. Then, and experiences. For me, it's like I don't need to buy a Rolex. It's more about, can I spend?
First of all, you couldn't buy a Rolex, but
that's also another point. I can't. But another point is that it's more about if you have experiences, maybe doing a High Rocks, right? We did in October High Rocks with Victor. So we
really close
visited,
friends of ours.
Yeah, we visited him in Italy, and he was preparing for his High Rocks for 3 months. And yeah, in the last minute, like I think like 10 days before, we signed up as well because it was his birthday. So we're like, here, let's do it all together. And man, this experience we'll never forget in the rest of our life. Same like the water rafting. So if I can, like looking back, the most important part are these experiences that you will cherish for the rest of your life. I think it's like very, very important.
And look what we have experienced now, Lucas. We discovered what everyone has been, our generation, been saying. It's about experience.
No, I mean, it's not that we never said it's about experiences, but it's the first time probably that we had some extra money so we can pay or do these things without like having to cut off an arm, right? This is, for me, important. It was important. And that just, I think it's important that everybody takes the time and really look, like, just review over the year. What was the good things? What the bad? What could you make better? But I think that's basically it for me. I mean, the weddings are all fucking fantastic that we were able to visit. Like, we went to 5 weddings and none of them were in Spain, like in Barcelona where we live. So actually 4 of them were outside, were North America or Latin America. And yeah, fantastic. And besides that, I think these are my for goals next year. Go all the way podcast as well as with Hook Talk. So excited for this for sure. Spend more experiences with our friends and the family. Yeah, Mark, you want to finish it off?
Look, guys, you have a lot of podcasts looking forward to next year. For our goals, we're just going to focus on Hook Talk, get that baby going. In terms of podcasts, a lot of my guests, if please write in the comments if there's any specific topic you would like to talk about.
If people are still listening, man, we already half an hour in.
Fuck yeah, they're gonna listen. This is interesting personal stuff, Lucas. People connect on us in a personal level. Look, guys, also, this is something a challenge for everyone. Every quarter, we plan now also to have a frame breaking experience. For this year, that for us was going to Mexico, seeing Machu Picchu. Sorry, not Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza. We didn't go to Peru, sorry. Chichen Itza, Bahamas, High Rocks, all these kind of things. Do these, you'll experience this. You'll always remember these. Do it with your friends. Don't do it alone. Unless you like doing it alone, then obviously do that as well. And another thing that, to finish off maybe the podcast, is a quote by Alex Hormozi, which is, we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. I think that's one of our key learnings as well for this year, because we went back to the basics. We don't need to listen to 10,000 more business books. You know them, just stick to them. And in general, stick to your values, super important. Stick to who you are, be always present, and you'll be fine. You'll be happy.
I can't finish off as good as Mark did, but just a little caveat. You might not have to listen to 1,000 podcast books, but sometimes you can combine things. For example, if you want to improve your Spanish, so Mark and I always like, living here a long time, Spanish is still all right, not that great. But so basically...
No, that's not what the test said today. It said
C1, baby. C1.
Definitely a lie. I don't know how that happened.
But basically, it's combining. For example, I bought the Alex Hormozi books, and one of them I bought in Spanish because it wasn't available in English. But it's actually very, very helpful because in the end, I can use this by reading. I can improve my Spanish, and as well as just like, oh, okay, these business concepts, how can I implement it? So basically, it's the handbook or something like this. So if you can combine certain things together, you basically covering two of your goals or working towards them. So I think that's, I will keep doing that for sure. I really like that.
Lucas finishing off the year with German efficiency. I love it, guys. Everyone, please follow our podcast. Give us a like. Also, please comment what you want to see next. And
also, what are your goals for next year, right? For 2026? Anything that what your key learnings? Can't even talk anymore. My throat is killing me. So, and yeah, of course, catch you next one.
Peace.